In 2004, violent crime rates among juveniles increased slightly but stayed well below their levels since the early 1990s. This increase of juvenile delinquency made me stop and ask myself, what could we do as a nation to help our younger generation with this horrible plague of juvenile delinquency? After doing research and using secondary sources, I discovered that crime prevention and mentoring programs help juvenile delinquency significantly, but yet played a small role. In this PowerPoint presentation I put together, I will prove my thesis that crime prevention and mentoring programs helps juvenile delinquency in the long run. In this PowerPoint presentation, I will explain what is juvenile delinquency, why does it occur, mentoring and crime prevention programs is the best approach to juvenile delinquency. And I also will share some interesting facts I learned about the incarceration of juveniles. So, what is juvenile delinquency? Juvenile delinquency refers to violations of the criminal law by minors. In most states, a minor is anyone over 18, and in some states, minors are defined as anyone over the age of 17 or even 16. Why does juvenile delinquency occur? Well, the reason why juvenile delinquency occurs is because of the mental development of the juvenile. According to Feldman, the prefrontal cortex is part of the brain that allows people to think, evaluate, and make complex judgments. However, when preteens hit puberty, their prefrontal cortex is immature, making them more prone to engage in delinquent behavior. There are many theories associated with juvenile delinquency, but I think this theory, the social learning theory, is best suited for juvenile delinquency. Social learning theory is learned behavior by peers and influential people. Next is rehabilitation. What happens when juvenile commits crimes? Teens are sent to a juvenile court dealing with children up to 17 years of age and depending on the crime committed. Juveniles are then held at detention centers and the process of rehabilitation begins. Prevention methods of juvenile delinquency is deterrence. This tries to scare potential offenders from committing crimes by increasing certainty and severity of the punishment. Rehabilitation tries to reform offenders, and prevention tries to stop individuals from becoming offenders by attacking the root of the cause. Prevention methods. There are many prevention methods with juvenile delinquency. The programs that I use are parent training programs, which targets families of juveniles who are at risk of becoming delinquent. Preschool programs. Evidence suggests that good preschool programs improve school performance and reduce delinquency. There are in-school programs, and there is altering the classroom environment, and this helps improve the relation between the students and the teachers. Other prevention programs used are crisis intervention programs, rehabilitation programs, prevention programs, mentoring, supervised recreational opportunities, vocational training and employment programs, drug and gun programs, and community crime prevention. The evidence of effectiveness of juvenile delinquency using crime prevention programs and mentoring is that 62% of jurisdictions reporting gang problems use curfews and other ordinances aimed at keeping youth from congregating at night. And as a result, 86% of those jurisdictions agreed that such laws demonstrated at least some type of degree of effectiveness. So that's a good thing. In the 1990s, at the end of the crack era, these preventative programs was used to prevent violence, which dropped 60% and remained that way until 2004. There was a small increase of juvenile delinquency between 2004 and 2006, but it's now at its lowest level since the 1990s. Other interesting facts that I learned about doing research about juvenile delinquency is that 200,000 youths are prosecuted each year as an adult for nonviolent crimes. Children who spend time in adult prisons and jails are at higher risk for assaults, abuse, and suicide. And they are more likely to reoffend sooner, more often, and more violent than juveniles who stay in the juvenile system. And another interesting fact that just made my eyes pop is that me and you, the taxpayers, spend $102,000 per child per year in training schools. Again, often for nonviolent offenses. And up to 70% of youth in the system suffers from mental health disorders. And so this concludes the end of my PowerPoint presentation. And what I have here on this slide is my secondary sources, what I use from our library and from my juvenile delinquency textbook. And in closing, I would like to share with you a primary source that I use, who is my best friend, LaMarcus Parker. When LaMarcus Parker was 16, he was a juvenile delinquent. However, he got enrolled in a Scared Straight program that took place at Rikers Island Correctional Facility in New York. And as a result, it scared him straight, and from that point on, they set him up with a mentor. And that mentor actually helped him get straight A's in school. And he graduated in 2001 from Marlborough County in Bennettsville at the top of his class. After school and his graduation, he went on to USC, and he was a star basketball player for USC State for 2 years. And afterwards, he got deployed and served time in the Army and went to Iraq. And after his tour in Iraq, he actually came back and completed his college career. He got his bachelor's degree. I believe it was in mathematics and I believe it was business. And he went on to get his master's, and he is now in graduate school. And he is also an engineer at the CS plant in Florence, South Carolina. And that's located right behind the medical facility in Florence, the McLeod Medical Facility. So he's doing really well, and he plays an active role in his son's life. So that's a big plus. And just remember that if you're going through a similar situation with a teen like this, just remember that it takes a village to raise a child. So don't get discouraged, and just utilize everything what I taught you through this PowerPoint presentation. And I would also like to say thank you for taking time out to look at my presentation, and God bless you. Bye.